This video will go over basic navigation and inputting in the FileMaker database. First thing is you want to, whenever you're in these fields, is to use the mouse as little as possible and use your keyboard because it's much faster and more importantly it's better on your body and your wrists. But your basic navigation, you're within the FileMaker program. Within the database itself you've got buttons and you can navigate to the major sections such as programs, staff, reports, etc. The main menu is home base and you'll be doing a lot here. These toggle between what's called a list view and a full view. The list view typically is for looking. You can look like sorting names, for example, by name. You could sort by grade. There's sort features in each of these. Ditto in programs, you can sort. But you can click them again, go into full view, which is where you'll do most of your inputting. The second way you can get around in the big picture is through the scripts menu. If you're ever kind of stuck, you can go in here for admin, related tables to look at your attendance records, to look at your staff, your programs, your students, your main menu, your reports. You can see it's kind of interlinked. The reports has 3 tabs. When you open a report, you need to get out of it, you need to close it, and then you'll return to the main menu. I'm in the student section here. When you click in a box you can type and it will automatically save. You can hit tab and type in something. You could hit shift tab and go backwards or tab forward. Each time you enter something in here it saves it automatically. Going over to the main menu, when you enter programs and students, you'll create drop-down boxes. So you can click in here and you can use the up and down arrows. You can click in here and type a name starting with S, and you'll notice that those names come up quickly, so you need to use the mouse. And once you learn the names, it's much faster to do this. You can hit tab and then go up and down using your arrows. Hit tab again, and you can hit enter to enroll. So you don't need to use your mouse at all. You'll start by entering students, but also important at the front end are the preferences where you can enter your school name here. These are just records. For later, in other videos, you'll see you can enter bus routes, doctors and dentists, and there's another preference here that you can do. You'll notice that up here there's a lot of things you can do. A new record like Control N, erase a record, Control E, which deletes it. You can do sorts and finds. You can go through records. You can see the numbers changing here. I can scroll this way. At the bottom I can make the screen larger or smaller. There's a lot of things you can do in here. There's different things. Of course you have all these things at the top as well. You're going to be toggling a lot back and forth. For taking attendance and enrolling a student, if you put in your students then you enroll them. There's different ways to do it, mainly off the main menu, but you'll also see these icons throughout the database. So here's an icon for taking attendance. Again, the best place to be doing this stuff, these are extra places, but you're going to be able to do all this, most of this stuff off of the main menu. You'll be using these drop downs a lot for your kids and for your programs. And you'll note in order to create what shows up, you have this active or inactive button. So if you have a kid who is inactive and you don't, let's say they go away for a month, you can click that and they'll never show up on the drop down menu. So I'll tune in here is no longer there. If I inactivate it, there, they show up. Same thing for programs. So you can inactivate and activate programs as well. And you want these to, when you want to show all of your data at the end of the year, you want all the programs to be active so the records are counted. At some point you might go into the attendance records and you might do a find, and you want to find, let's say, all the Clay records and perform the find. Oh, that was a bad one. And let's say all of your records pop up, your computer club records. In this case, well, actually, strike that. I've done a find of Colin's records, and there are only 2 of them in this database, so there's 2 of 97. And it's like, where are the rest of the records? Well, I can show all records or hit Control J, and they'll all show up. When you only have a few records showing, usually you need to hit Control J or show all records. There are some tips and tricks. If you're entering a lot of records with, for example, a lot of 5th graders, let's say, every time you, this is the auto enter feature, and every time you enter a new record, Control N, I'm going to start a new record, you'll see it's already put in this data, so you don't have to type or click extra times. You'll also note things in red, and those are like the big warnings. It means it's something you need. So student ID numbers always have to be there. 6 digits is recommended for each student. You'll notice that it went away. If you ever see red, if there's duplicates or things like that, when you want to clean up your records, you're going to want to take care of it. So look for those red marks and make sure you get rid of the red. To finish, when you close out of the database, if you hit this by mistake, your records will all be saved, but that will close you out. And if there are records in the database that are not, well, let me just say, I'll just leave it at this. When you close out, you've closed out, like this.